For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Ryan Lewicki Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, you guys had a tough matchup with Frostburg State, come out of it with a split. Talk about this last weekend and kind of what it was like.
Yeah, we knew going into it was going to be a grind. Frostburg obviously was picked to win our division, is playing really good baseball, has probably one of the most powerful lineups in our league, top to bottom. So we knew going there was going to be tough. I think, our mindset and our goal didn't change going into it, still trying to win a weekend. But at the end of the day, where we were and how we have been playing, salvaging a split the way we did is at least a positive at the end of the day. Not the outcome we want. There's a lot of good there, not some great in some areas. But we did find a way, at least after getting, kind of our teeth kicked in, game one of each day, to respond and find a way to salvage the weekend overall.
And in your 2 wins, your offense came out scoring. You get the 14 runs in the game 2 of day 1 and then 6 in the game 2 of day 2. Talk about how they were able to kind of turn it on, as you mentioned, after getting beaten game 1 to kind of rebound.
If I had that answer, I probably would win a lot more games. I don't know. And it's been like this most of this year, and it's kind of been the tale of this season. The inconsistency, with this group this year has been a reason why we're in the situation and kind of the reason we're in the boat that we're in right now, about 35 games in. There's a lot of good, and I think they can do it consistently. They just sometimes don't, and I think that's what leads to sometimes the struggles, the question marks, the inconsistency of being able to win weekends is because this offense can be really talented. The question is, do they show up every day? And I tell them a lot when we leave games or we leave weekends, it's almost like, we're the continuous book that's just turning the page and saying, well, we'll see. And we'll see if you show up. We'll see if you don't. But when they do, like they did in Game 2 and Game 4 of this weekend with Frostburg, good things happen. So hopefully they can continue to do that more consistently down the road, and we find ways to score runs a lot.
And one of the big guys leading that charge, Braden Killens, had a huge week last week, holds down that third base spot. Talk about him and kind of what he's brought to this club.
Yeah, another guy came in brand new from a junior college, trying to figure out where he fits, defensively, offensively. I think after kind of settling into third and figuring out he's going to hit in the heart of this lineup, I think the confidence for him has started to really show. I think the name is starting to get out now. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of pop. I think he's consistently starting to be, a guy who we can now count on, and we can obviously trust to do his part in the middle of the lineup. And then, has had, phenomenal pop and power this weekend. I think he had, probably over 10 RBIs in this weekend with Frostburg after coming off a really good, midweek game at Clarion. So good week for him. Glad to see him starting to, get the barrel out in front, hunting stuff he likes. Again, with the ability he has, he's a guy that could do that every weekend. So it's good for him, and hopefully more and more guys can start to just go with confidence the last 15 games here as an offense.
And then since the last time we talked, another guy I wanted to bring up, Lucas Rollins, getting his 100th career hit, and he's really gotten going lately. Talk about what that milestone meant for him and kind of how he's leading.
Yeah, I think, again, a kid who was here when I took over in 19, one of the few kids left that has been here for 5 years. So it's a great accomplishment for somebody like that who's gone through so many things up and down throughout his college career, not only as a baseball player but as a person. And I think it's just a great milestone for him. I think it was something he personally wanted when he got, into this season to come back for his 5th year. Was I want to get this milestone while having success as a team. And he's a guy who was platooning early in the year. Now he's starting to find, like you said, some of that role, that confidence, that swagger, that you want a guy that's a 5th year that has the potential that Lucas has to finally find. So playing so much better, probably the last 2 to 3 weekends, looks like the old kind of Lucas Rollins. And again, for him, it's a great milestone. I'm happy for him. And I think he, at the end of the day, would tell you now that he's got it, let's just go find a way to keep winning baseball games.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, on the pitching side, your bullpen's had some really good arms coming out. Hunter Dick ending games. He's been really strong. Talk about your bullpen as a whole and kind of what you've seen from them.
After day 1, game 2, I looked at everybody and I said, if we can play defense and we can figure out how to hit consistently, we'll have the best bullpen not only in the league but probably in the region because we're that good. The bullpen is that good. The starting pitching, it's been good enough this whole year for us to be better than 19 and 16. The bullpen is good when it gets used. When you lose 16 times, there are times you don't get to use the guys like Dalton, like Dick, and some of the other guys. But this weekend, you got to showcase that ability. It's there. It is, in my mind, the best bullpen in this league. There are really good back-end arms throughout this entire conference, don't get me wrong, but our bullpen is that good. We just got to find ways to utilize them and be able to use them, hopefully, if our defense is kicking and our offense is doing its job. But, yeah, Dalton and Dick, truthfully, a lot of guys threw great this weekend. I'm pleased with a lot of our guys out of our pen because it's a tough weekend, tough environment. But those two have been phenomenal. We're really good this weekend and hopefully good moving forward.
And another tough week for you guys this week. You have IUP in your midweek game and then playing Fairmont State this weekend. Talk about this week and kind of how you guys are approaching.
Yeah, IUP will be a really good midweek test for us. Another, in-region game with another team that's been really good throughout the entire year in the PSAC. So for that, we're going to probably, still want to win the baseball game, but we're going to find a way to get a lot of opportunity for some other guys as well. That's what midweeks are there for. But then with Frostburg, it's a cluster in the north right now. 1st to 5th are all within 3 to 4 games. So, like I've said from the get-go and like I keep telling my guys, it is now more crucial than ever that we have to win weekends. We haven't won a weekend in probably 4 weeks. We've split 2. Then we lost one prior to that. The last one we won was 4 weeks ago. Now, we're still in a great situation just because we've been salvaging weekends. Now we have to start taking care of business and winning weekends moving forward. So with Frostburg, it's just like everything else. Our pitching staff's good enough, probably the best I've had since I've been here. If our offense keeps playing like it does in Game 2 and Game 4, and if this defense would, hopefully start to be more routine, that's kind of the one area that we don't need to touch about right now because I don't want to talk about our defense. But if they keep making routine plays and play a lot more confident with a little bit of swagger and just, not care if they make mistakes and just want the baseball, we can be really good with Fairmont this weekend.
And finally, you mentioned the MEC North, a cluster of teams fighting for these last 3 spots. What's your message to your guys to keep them focused on the task at hand and getting back to that MEC tournament?
But the big message was last year we got behind probably at this point of the season, and we knew we didn't control our destiny last year. We had to win a lot of games and get help. Last year, I think we, at this point with 3 weekends left, go 9-3 to end the year and don't get in because we didn't get the help. So the message about a week ago to this team was, going into Frostburg, we control us. We can still actually win the North based on how it's set up right now. But the biggest thing is we control us. We can't allow our fate to be in somebody else's hands. And it starts by us simply just finding ways to win weekends. And if we can do that, starting with Fairmont, we have ourselves a really good opportunity to keep playing baseball for a while.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.